I literally watches them all, so it's good.
say.
Good morning, coaches and people and everyone out there. Daniel Chamberlain, Coaching 101 podcast. I am at the Texas High School Coach Association Coaching School here on the expo floor. If you're in town, I am booth 2811 with Ace Sports and these way good protein shake on a stick, frozen deliciousness. So if you look those up, I had one yesterday. The chocolate was phenomenal. Trying to get your kids to eat more protein, you're a coach. Or, hey, wife, Samantha, by the way, this is the way that our kids would eat more protein.
Yeah.
We might look at just getting it for our kids. I don't know. Anyway, we're here with Coach Cale Melton, right? Did I say that right?
Sir.
I
Yes,
forget
sir.
to ask every
No,
time,
it's
and
all
I
good.
screw up 90% of them. Coach, this clinic is amazing. It's huge. I needed coffee to get through this morning because there's so many people I have to say hi to, and I'm one of those people. But excited for you to come on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it. Thank
I told you before, anybody Adam Harvey says, hey, this is the guy, talk to him, is probably the guy. So
Hey, Adam's the guy, so I'm just
you
blessed
make
to
up
know him.
25% of the good coaches he knew. He said, here's the 4 guys I got. So we're excited to have you, man. So why don't you introduce yourself? Like this is just going out to coaches across the nation, really. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm Cale Melton. I'm the head football coach, athletic coordinator at Kingwood High School in Houston, Texas. This is going on my 22nd year of coaching. I've been a head coach at Kingwood for the last 5 years, going on number 6. Before that, I was at Highland Park High School in Dallas. I was blessed to be a part of 3 straight state championship teams there. I was the defense coordinator the last 2. You talk about mentors. There's one, Coach Randy Allen, is unbelievable. And I'm extremely blessed to have coached for him. Also, my dad has been coaching for over 50 years now. He told
me that his dad was putting the kids to bed last night.
Oh,
too.
of course, these young ones, these young coaches, got
don't know about that.
Got to watch over them a little
That
bit,
clinic
right?
life,
yeah,
right?
for sure. No, but he's been doing it for over 50 years. He been all over North Shore, Atlanta, and then for 22 years, and then kind of worked his way back down to Houston with us. And he's my defense coordinator, defensive line coach, and so I've been kind of all over. Lived in the Dallas area mostly for about 10 years. Been out in West Texas, East Texas, and it kind of brought me back down to Houston this for the last going on number 6. So extremely blessed to be here, and I'm thankful for this opportunity.
So I have to ask, because Oklahoma, it's like you got the Tulsa Metro, the Oklahoma City Metro, and that's outside of that, it's small school ball. There's not a lot of the big schools. You guys will just switch entire metros. I mean, Dallas to Houston, is that pretty common for a coach to take a job?
It is. A lot about it. It's kind of like what coaching school's for too is to learn a lot of things, but you also get a lot of connections. Adam Harvey is right here in the San Antonio area, been mainly in this area, and we're good friends. Never coached together, but we're good friends, and it's all about those connections. And yeah, you do. Like I said, my dad coached at North Shore, so I knew some connections down in the Houston area, but mainly living most of my life up northeast Texas, the Dallas area, and that way. So we have, but it's about getting those connections, knowing people, and building those relationships. I mean, that's kind of like you do with your kids in the program is building relationships. And so, you do the same thing right here with coaches. I always tell these young guys, don't ever burn bridges.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't ever burn bridges.
The podcast listeners know that I've done that in my career, and maybe it was warranted, maybe it was not, but it is what it is. Life goes on.
No, it does.
So your first state championship, you're just a position coach. You move on to be the DC. You win 2 more.
So I was assistant coach for 2 years. So 15, 16, and 17. We won it. In 16 and 17, I was the inside linebacker coach. In 18, I became the defense coordinator, and we went along. It was kind of the weird thing is like we talked about it all the time. Is we went 14 and 2, 15 and 1, and then that last year we went 16 in 2018.
They just needed the king at the 30.
I don't know about that. It ain't about me. I've had a lot of good guys. Coach Don Woods, who's the I'm thankful for him. I'm thankful for Coach my dad. There's a lot of other guys that, my defensive philosophy comes from a lot of those guys. Those guys I've learned a lot from. Aaron Rohn, who's the head coach at Abilene Cooper. My buddy Brian O'Neill, who gave me a job at Community. So I'm taking a lot of the philosophy of a lot of guys, and it's not.
Oh, now we got too many people in there. Remove that one. Okay. You guys are still listening. Oh, we are still live. So appreciate you guys hanging with us. If you don't know, this is the largest convention in the world, and there's no Wi-Fi. So
it's crazy.
That's what it is.
It's crazy.
You're talking about taking, kind of little pieces from everybody and making your own thing, and now you're a head coach. Have you found it easy to implement all those things, even though you came from one side of the ball, or has it been like you have to give some away? How does that work?
Well, I think so, and it kind of goes to being under other head coaches too. You see how things work. Coach Allen was really, really good about organization, and so I've taken a lot of things that I've learned from my dad and from Coach Allen and a lot of these guys. Defensive philosophy is different, but the head coaching thing, I sat and watched Coach Allen for 5 years on how he's done things, and he's one of the winningest coaches in not only in Texas but in all of football, high school football. So getting to sit there and watch him and see how he does things, and the thing that he does that I've seen with him, with young coaches and coaches that aspire to be head coaches, he allows you to, I wouldn't say allow, but he gives you responsibilities. And when he gives you responsibilities, he expects these things to be done, but with those responsibilities, he's helping you learn how to be a head coach. And so I sat there and watched him, and I'd ask questions, and he'd be like, oh, this is this, and he would give myself and the offense coordinator responsibilities, and it helped me when I got to Kingwood High School with the organization of practices.
Right.
And how you do that with a bunch of kids, because we had 350 to 400 kids at Highland Park playing football, and you got to be able to coach them all. And so
I can't imagine what that's even like.
Exactly. And so we got 260 kids at Kingwood that play football. So organizationally, how do you do that? Dealing with parents. How do you run a program off season? What do you do? Hiring strength and condition, strength coordinators, hiring guys around you that know football. I want guys around me that know more football than I do.
Absolutely.
Why? Because I want those. I want to be able to put it in their hands and say, hey, man, it's yours. I'm not a micromanager, and Coach Allen's like that, and I love that hands-off approach, but knowing that you're going to get the job done and do what you're supposed to do. But you give coaches responsibility. And then you let them run with it, and then you help progress them. My goal for my coaches is I've got some older coaches on staff, and they're where they want to be, but I've got some young guys that would aspire to be head coaches.
Yeah.
And I want to help them, and so trying to give them responsibility. They come and talk to me. You want to be able to lay it out there for them, and so I've been blessed to be around a lot of good coaches that's helped develop off-season programs, a culture of a program, and we had to do some things at Kingwood High School. We were not very good in my first 2 years, and not because of anything. I think we were changing philosophy,
right.
The philosophy on offense and defense, and then I think we won 3 ball games in the first 2 years. But over the last 3, you can start to see the change in the culture. Kids are buying in; they believe, and that's the biggest thing for me when it comes to culture. To me, culture is a belief. It's a belief, and believing in yourself, believing in your teammates, and then believing in your coaches. And if you do that, I think you can change things wherever you're at. And so that's all together with what I've gained.
Yeah, the effects, the after effects of just having great coaches in your path, whether that be while you're like Kenny Ridley's a big time mentor of mine in all of life, right? And I know I can text Kenny at any time and have a conversation, good, bad, whatever. he was my high school defensive coordinator. Like when I was a little young pup that was too stupid to know better than, and now luckily I can call him a friend and a mentor in life. I ran into Tim McCarty over here. He's with one of the other booths, and Tim was my head coach at East Central University when I was pretending that I was good enough to be a college football player. Don't walk on after a deployment, by the way. That's Jesus Christ. But, it's still, you can walk in, you meet guys like that, and then you run into them years later, and you're like, man, I still carry some things that you told me. Or
yes.
I've never had somebody believe in me more than Tim McCarty at exit interviews, and he's like, you're the guy.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know better. Like, he just had ultimate belief. So it is what it is.
That's it.
But, yeah, there's... Kenny Simpson, we talked about Adam Harvey, and he, our connection there is Kenny, and Kenny's another one of those guys. Like, you just want those good coaches in your corner.
You do.
You take a ton from them. Someday I'll get the opportunity to lead a program, and I know that even though no one's ready, some of us have met enough good dudes along the way that we are more ready.
That's right.
Than the guys who haven't had that opportunity. You know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
it's really good.
True. I agree.
Well, what some lessons learned, man? You jumped into head coaching. You went and won some state championships. Then you said 3 games in 2 years. What was some lessons learned, and how you turning it around down there?
Well, I think the good Lord, has a good way of humbling you, and that, a lot to me is this, and I think to change a program, no matter what you do, to put your spin on it, whatever it may be. First and foremost, I believe that the most important thing is to build relationships, and I think that's in anything that you do.
Yep.
The second thing is, to me, is like that you truly love what you're doing, but you love the kids. You love those kids around you, and you build a relationship with them that's more than football. Yep. And if you do that, I think that good things start to happen. You can be the best X's and O's coach, but if you don't build relationships and you don't love on kids and show them that you care about them, it doesn't matter.
Tim Beard is a guy that I don't talk about on the podcast enough, and he's another one of my high school coaches, and he's the head coach at Rush Springs, Oklahoma. And I listened to an interview with him the other day, and we have a local Oklahoma podcast. It's a pretty good one. Yeah. Kenny and the coaches, if you guys are from Oklahoma, you want to just listen to some coaches talk ball, Kenny does some really good interviews with guys. But he had Tim Beard on, and he kind of asked him, like, what's something you want to leave behind? He's like, I just want kids to know I love them.
That's it.
At the end of the day, I don't care about all the rest of this. The wins and losses don't matter. I just want kids to know that they had someone in their corner that legitimately loved them. This isn't. It's not phony. It's not fake. It's not a facade we put on to make kids play better in football. No, I legitimately love you. I don't care if you don't take a single snap all year long because you're a bench warmer. I still love you. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. That's good people. Just relationships over everything, really.
It is, and that's, to me, that's the biggest thing. And it's showing that, building those relationships, loving our kids, not just to say it, just so, like you said, to get them to play for you. You do it because you really care about them and you really want them to be. I tell our kids all the time, like, yes, I care about what you do right now, but what we want to see as coaches is what you are 10, 15, 20 years down the road. What kind of person are you then? And that, your parents raised you and all that, but like that we may have a little piece of
anyone that thinks otherwise is a little bit absurd. Like, yes, they're legitimate kids out there, better or worse, because of their high school coaches, whatever sport they're in. 100%.
Well, you spend a lot of time with them, and that's the thing. Like, as a high school coach, you spend tons of time up there, away from your own kids at times. I'm blessed right now that I have a son that's going to be a junior this year that's on our football team, and I get to spend that time with him and do that. But we get to spend a lot of time with a lot of kids, and that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of things that we did is when we got to Kingwood High School, it was about changing the culture of the program and getting kids to believe that they could beat anyone. And I think that's what you have to do when you go in is you build those relationships, you love on kids, and then you can change the culture by bringing in a belief. And then, it's about who you hire. There's a lot more to it than just, hey, here's the magic formula. There's a lot more to it. It's hiring good people around you that feel that they have the same philosophy as you do. You don't always need to be the good guy, the bad guy. Our philosophy is we'll get on to you, and we're gonna coach you hard. We're not gonna cuss at you. We're gonna love on you, and we're going to build you up. And so, like, that's what I tell our coaches all the time. We talk about it all the time. Like, you can get on their tail ends when they're on the field, but if you do, when they're walking off, go put your arm around them.
Yeah.
And man, and just let them know, dude, it's bigger than this. I just want you can be good, you can be the best, but I need you to do this. I need you to do that.
Coach them up and love them up, right?
That's it, man. And that's
a big part of
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, man, that's huge.
And And I think that goes with the culture. And I think there's a lot of things that you can do. Like I talked to, I did another podcast about probably a couple months ago, and it was about, the culture of the program. But I think we do a lot of stuff in the spring, where, of course, we read a book every year. With our, we right after we do what we call our boot camp, we'll do we elect player committee, which is our leadership council. And then we'll have anywhere from 10 to 12 of those guys. And then we create family groups.
I love it.
And then with those player committee guys, we read a book. And we'll do anything from, last year, I'm trying to think, what was the one, the Navy SEALs? Extreme
Jocko
Ownership.
Willink. Yeah,
Extreme
baby.
Ownership.
Hey, podcasters that listen, they know that Coach Chamberlain lives by that book.
So we did Extreme Ownership last year. And then we're doing a John Gordon book right now. And it just kind of mixes up. We'll do a, hard hat. We'll do, we've done a bunch of different ones.
For sure.
And I'll get with those guys and we'll read the book. We go over it, and then each week we have Wednesdays are our leadership days. And so after we get done working out, we have a block period. And so for about an hour, for about 15, 20 minutes, those guys will go out and they teach their groups. And we have coaches over each group, they'll help kind of facilitate. But they go out there and they talk to them about leadership things, and we talk to them instead of we have coaches that speak. But I think if they hear from their own guys, and so then we have a competition inside of that too. They compete against each other every week, and then whoever wins, the top two teams get like a hamburger dinner. They get to eat while the other guys work out. So we it's just little competition things, and Coach Allen did that, and that's where I got it from. But we even broke it down into family groups and things like that. But it's them leading a small group of guys, and that are not just their position group players, because that's a lot of times what happens.
Yeah.
This is random. So you may have a receiver with a lineman with a whatever.
There's Adam Harvey now.
There he is right there. He's the man. Look, I see your same shirt. I get you. Look, same
Twinkie in up here. Oh, same pants, man. Y'all are in.
Yeah. So, but we'll we do a lot of different things like that, and it's to build that relationships. It's to build, leadership skills. And then we'll carry that all the way through the fall, and still do the same type stuff in the fall and meet and things. And I think that's been the biggest thing too, is to help change the culture, is having guys that step in to be leaders, and teaching them not just to be leaders in football, but in the classroom, out in the community, and then when they graduate. So, and one of the biggest things that I harp on with our kids, and I say it every Friday when we leave, and it's in the spring and whatever else, I tell them there's two things you represent, guys. Two things you represent. You represent what's across the front of your chest, and you represent what's on the back of your shirt. And I said, every time you walk out of here, that's how you're going to be. That's who you're representing.
Sounds like the old safety briefs in the military. Like, don't be in the newspaper.
but
there's no reason to be in the newspaper this weekend.
In today's society, you've got to talk to these kids about it and remind them, because if they're doing something goofy, out there in the public, maybe because you said it enough, it comes in the brain. Should I do this?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And just that kind of reminder. But there's a lot of things that piece together to change a culture and to build a program.
So I don't want to keep you all day, Coach.
No, you're good.
Let's close out of here with just like three things. I'm going to be a new head coach.
Yep.
What are the top three things you think a head coach can do to get started at a new place? First time head coaches, no experience.
Okay. First thing you need to do is you need to get in and build relationships with those who hired you, the administrators, staff. Get to know what they want, how they want it, ask questions, go to them, build those relationships. Second thing is you got to build the relationships with those kids that are in that program. Get to know them. You can't go and just yell and sit back, talk to them, listen. More than your plan, and then get out in the community. Get out in the community. Get to know the people in the community, and to get them on, not just on your side, but so they get to know you, know who you are. Because like we said, relationships are the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And you build those relationships, it'll help you in a lot of different ways. So it kind of leads all back to building relationships, and then all the other stuff will fall in pieces. Because you as a coach, if you're a new head coach, you know what to do. There's some things paperwork-wise, there's some things you're going to miss over here or there, but you know what to do because you've been doing it for a while now. It's the relationship pieces, those things like getting out, being present. Those are the things that are going to mean more
Absolutely.
Eventually, as a head coach, that's something that I had to even learn when I got into it too. The same type thing. So,
I love it, man. Well, Coach, I'm a fan, dude. We'll be watching Kingwood. Make sure to see how you guys do in the next few years.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Thank you for blessing us this morning, man. Thanks for coming on and talking some ball.
I'm extremely blessed. First and foremost, I thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, man. That's part of our program too. And so, but I'm thankful for y'all. I appreciate it. Appreciate Adam. Appreciate y'all for having me and having people that believe in you, man. That's always good.
Absolutely. Guys, Ace Sports, we're here at the Texas High School Coaches Association Coach School, San Antonio, Texas. If you're in town, please do come by. Zach Welchman, I'm talking to you. I better see you today. I now know you're in town now. Okay. Speaking of Zach, if you need headsets, Procom headsets, Zach Welchman will hook you up. I think we did a show with him last week, so you can go look that episode up. Super excited to be here today. Glad to talk ball with all the great coaches, Coach Melton being one of them. We're going to have Adam Harvey on here at top of the hour, which is in 1 minute, so we're behind on that, but we'll make things happen. Appreciate you guys. Hang with us through any technical difficulties today. I know it's live, and we're working off phone internet, so we'll get these chopped up in a couple weeks or whatever and get them put out. Thank you, guys. Go over to acesports.com. You can email mark.bridges@acesports.com to work for any – look, the boards are the cheat code to fundraising. If you don't have a video board in your stadium or it's too small, you don't have one in your arena in basketball, you don't want to have it at your track, wherever you need one, Ace Sports is the guys to go through. From manufacturing to fundraising, install, everything is done in one place. You don't have to go out to a third party for anything, and they're going to hold your hand through the whole process until that board's in the black. So there's not a better company to use than Ace Sports. acesports.com, go check them out. You can DM me if you have any questions. We will be back here in just a few minutes with Coach Adam Harvey. Coach, man, thank you so much again.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.